Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Andrew Bartolotta. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making an impact in our community and around the globe. In our society, one of the most pressing issues related to social justice and civil rights is educational inequality. And too often, children are denied the opportunity to receive a quality education simply because of where they live and their zip code. However, there is hope on the horizon. Memphis Teacher Residency is an organization with a transformative mission centered around training teachers in a unique way that prioritizes their spiritual, social, and instructional development. Today, we'll learn not only about their impactful organization, but also their upcoming Marjorie Lee Brown STEM Education Fellowship. Joining us today to talk about the STEM Fellowship is recruiter and STEM camp coordinator Caroline O'Hare and past STEM fellow and current MTR resident Simona Reid. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Now, before we dive into the STEM camp, Caroline, give listeners an idea for the mission and purpose of Memphis Teacher Residency.
Yeah, our mission in general is Christian love expressed in equal education. So like you mentioned, Andrew, we believe all kids deserve an excellent education, no matter where they grow up, no matter what their family's income level is. But we do approach that work in a unique way through the Christian faith. So we believe we're all called to seek the welfare of our city and the underserved. And so we do that by going into classrooms and doing our best at teaching and serving and loving students.
Well said. And diversity, equity, and inclusion is a huge part of your mission. How does MTR approach that in its recruitment and training of teachers?
Yeah, so we do have a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee, so we're always working on that. But we know that representation in the classroom is a pressing matter. And that's actually something that drove us to create the STEM Education Fellowship. So students in Memphis Shelby County schools are predominantly students of color. However, when you look at like STEM teachers nationally and locally, there's an underrepresentation of teachers of color in STEM fields. So we were like, we got to do something about this. So we created the STEM Education Fellowship 4 years. This will be the fourth year to actually help recruit and train fellows over the summer. So we recruit teachers of color, undergraduate students who want to pursue teaching, who are STEM majors and minors, and they come like Simona did for a month. And they learn about Memphis. They learn about our students. They get to teach at our STEM camp, hopefully fall in love with it, and hopefully then come to MTR. And beyond that, we are committed. We have inclusive resources and textbooks, and we train our teachers on culturally responsive teaching to make sure that they are honoring students from all backgrounds and cultures in their classroom.
I love that because there's an expression like you can't be what you can't see. And so representation is a huge part of it. And not only for the communities of color, but also communities that need to see thriving individuals in STEM education in particular to be able to know like, hey, I never saw that growing up. And now I know that I can be whatever I want to be in any industry because I have someone that I can look up to and a role model there. So you have the Marjorie Lee Brown STEM Education Fellowship, which seems like this fantastic initiative. You said, 4 years running to encourage students to pursue careers in STEM. Before we talk logistically about the camp, who is Marjorie Lee Brown and why is the camp named after her?
Absolutely. So she is a Memphian, and she is one of the first Black women in America to get her PhD in mathematics. So she went to Lemoyne in high school, grew up. She did leave Memphis for her education and earned her PhD from the University of Michigan. But then she went on to she was a professor, and she invested in younger folks trying to grow up and invest in mathematics and STEM careers. So she worked at North Carolina College. It's now North Carolina Central University, and she just invested her life in creating pathways for other people. So she got a grant from IBM to actually bring the first computer system to her university. It was the first of its kind in a predominantly Black university. She just was a pioneer and invested her time in others. So we're really honored to carry on her legacy through the fellowship and the camp.
That's so nice to be able to, like you said, carry on her legacy and really just once again showcase someone of color that really just made an impact, and also to continue her legacy through her name because she was a pioneer. To be able to do that is so great. How many college students serve as fellows during the summer, and who do you serve?
Yeah, so we have each summer we've had about 12 fellows. This summer we're bringing 14, and they come from across the country. So we've had people from New Jersey, Kentucky, California, Washington State, Florida, like everywhere, which is really fun to get to bring everyone to Memphis. And we serve rising 7th and 8th graders, and we recruit campers from across the city. MTR has partner schools within partner neighborhoods. We really target underserved areas intentionally to bring about equal education. And so we have teachers recommend students in our partner schools, and then they come to camp at Crosstown High School, and it's a lot of fun.
I bet just Crosstown in general is such a great space, an innovative space to really explore and thrive. Have this will really go into Simona's conversation as well, but have Camp Fellows come back to join the MTR residency program?
Yes. So Simona.
So far, I'm the first person who was a STEM fellow to become an MTR resident, but I'm super excited. We have 5 more coming in for next year's residency class as well.
Wow, that's huge. So how has your work with Memphis Teacher Residency personally impacted your own life and career goals?
So it started back in summer of 2021 when I was a STEM fellow. And that was like the first time that I had been surrounded by a lot of other people of color who really loved math and science, but also who wanted to be teachers. And up until that point, I had never met anyone else who looked like me who had done that job. Which, like you were just saying, like students can't see, they can't be what they can't see. And at this point in my life, I was going into my senior year of college. I was being something that I had never seen before. And so I got there, I got to camp, and I met 11 other fellows who looked similar to me, but also different than me, also people of color. I was able to meet teachers who were also current teachers of color, who are passionate about math and passionate about science. And that was just really validating to me and my identity. And moving forwards, I was like, yes, I can love math. Yes, I can love science as a woman of color. And I felt like there had never been a space for me to be able to love these things before. And so now that I am a teacher, I am so much more secure in that identity, and I'm able to pass that identity back on to my students.
That is so powerful and just shows the power of Memphis Teacher Residency. What motivates you to continue working with them and helping to improve education in Memphis?
It starts with their investment in me as a person. And I can see how the Memphis Teacher Residency loves Memphis. I can see how they love people and their mission. And it's everything that I believe in as well. And I am able to be surrounded by people who are passionate about educational equality and fighting those injustices. And it's really empowering to be a part of a team who is fighting for the well-being of our city.
What qualities make for an exceptional teacher, and how does Memphis Teacher Residency cultivate these qualities in its teachers?
That's a great question. I think it starts with passion, but also being passionate about your content area, being passionate about being a teacher. And then I think the difference that makes a high quality teacher is that you know your content really, really well, but you know how to deliver your content really well. And the Memphis Teacher Residency does an amazing job through the courses that we take, through our coaching. We're placed in somebody else's classroom for this whole year, and they act as our mentor. They are employed by the school, and so I get to learn directly from them every single day. And then I have another employee from MTR, who is my coach, who also comes in and observes me and gives me a lot of specific feedback, which is really cool. One thing about the STEM camp is they follow that same model. And so I was able to get a little taste of the residency. In STEM camp, I was working with a mentor at STEM camp. I had Caroline, who came in and gave us specific feedback as well. And to be able to be a high quality math teacher, to be able to be a high quality science teacher, they're giving us things like, hey, we want you to go in and try this thing in your classroom. And it's not like, oh, you should maybe be a little bit more whatever. They're like, this is how you do what you want to achieve in your classroom.
Caroline, how do you see Memphis Teacher Residency continuing to evolve and grow in the coming years? And what do you hope to see accomplished through its work?
I think one of the main things is we want to keep the main thing, and serving our students in Memphis and our teachers really well. As you probably know and have seen on headlines, that the teaching career is getting a bad rap, and there are people who are leaving the field, which really impacts our students. And so we at MTR want to make sure that we are providing quality training and support that not only draws people to our program and to Memphis to teach, but keeps them in the classroom and supports them well, so that our students get the best education they can, and so that our teachers can thrive and will want to continue on in their career. So we definitely have a committed team of coaches who support our teachers, who bring residents in, train them. Our mentor teachers are a pivotal part of the experience. So we continue to grow in the ways in which we support and train our mentor teachers within the city of Memphis. And so that's like one of the main things, is we want to keep that strong and thriving. And we've been able to do so since MTR's founding. We also run 2 camps and 2 fellowships. So you've heard about the Marjorie Lee Brown STEM Education Fellowship. It's a little bit of a mouthful. That serves, and the camp serves middle school students. And then we also have MTR Camp and the MTR Camp Literacy Fellowship. So we bring college students as well to Memphis in the summer to serve elementary school students and focus on literacy instruction. This summer, that will be in the Berkeley neighborhood as well. So that's part of our work, continuing to invest in kids in the summer. So we do believe that, education happens from August to May, right? In classrooms, but a lot of learning and a lot of life happens over the summer, and we continue that through our 2 summer programs. MTR also has started a literacy branch of our organization. So we put on a conference and are investing in people and equipping them with research-backed literacy practices and support. So there's a lot going on. I think that we're trying to continue to tap into our expertise and make sure that more and more people can come in and be supported through our organization.
That's great. And I love that you talk about summer drought, or like the brain drain of the summer, because you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Like parents still have to work in the summer. They don't get summer vacation, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
so many of the times. And so to be able to offer these camps for kids to continue their learning and excel throughout the summer, so they start back fresh in August, to feel like they're not starting from square one, or have those internal anxieties of going back to school, and having this system in place to be able to provide them with learning throughout the summer is fantastic. Simona, what are some last words of encouragement for maybe a younger person that's listening, or even maybe someone that's maybe in their first career now and saying, I really want to be a teacher, I want to make an impact? What are some words of encouragement that you would give them?
I would say that if you are thinking about being a teacher, there are no other careers out there that you can have the level of impact that you can as a teacher. Because you get student after student after student, year after year after year, and you get to see your students grow up and grow into people, grow into adults who will eventually, they can become teachers, and they can become astronauts and physicists. They can become football players and basketball players. They can do anything that they want to be. And as a teacher, I get to play a really special role in helping them get there. I know that I think teaching gets a little bit of a bad rap, but I could not be more proud to be a teacher. And the Memphis Teacher Residency is the place that I know can make me the teacher that I want to be.
Oh man, that was so good. That's bringing tears to my eyes. Just thinking about, like, everyone has a teacher that's made an impact on their life. And Simona, like, you're You're awesome. You're great. And
Mhm.
we need more people like you. And it's great to have Memphis Teacher Residency stewarding these teachers and coming alongside them and creating more great teachers in our community and beyond. Caroline, where can people go to learn more about this STEM Fellowship and Memphis Teacher Residency?
Well, you can go to our website, memphistr.org, and there you can navigate to our fellowship, our summer programs on there, or to look more into our residency. And then we have an Instagram, Memphis TR, so you can check us out, give us a follow, and we're also on TikTok.
Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you
For having us.